Hello and welcome to Geometry with Mr. Clausen. Today we are going to talk about flooring contractors. And in this given video, what we're going to do is look at how to precisely determine the area of material that we need. We'll go over a little bit about some of the general things that you might have to keep in mind if you were ever a flooring contractor, and work through some of that. So keep flipping through your packet if I have given you one of these. I'm just going to take that off there, and actually the blueprint that I want to use for this given video is right here, so we'll use this guy and talk through some of these given examples that we have to go through today. So in terms of looking at flooring contracting and some of those things, we have to figure out, some relative areas of each rooms and those type of things, and estimate material on that type of aspects. So we'll do cabin 1 in this video, and then what I will have you do on your own is do cabin 2. And so just so you kind of have a premise of what we're doing, I'll walk through this, you'll do this, and then submit it to me in class or online. So the first room that we have up here is the living area, so we're going to do that first just as a example. We'll calculate the area of flooring we need, the type of material we're going to use, cost per unit, and so on and so forth. So, I have the living room here, and I think how I will partition this room in general is I will go and we'll just partition it like such. And what I will probably do, we'll partition the hallway here. But I think what I'll do is whatever material I'll use in the living room, I'll include in this hallway. Now, so actually there is no entryway, so I'm going to replace hallway with entryway here. This Revit sheet's probably due for an update, but we'll use that, and I'll just switch that way. So I'll include whatever material I choose to use here, I'll include it there as well. And that's an easy enough thing to take into consideration. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to measure the square footage of this room here. And if I actually go and look at this, I am just going to make a tick mark here because that's going to need to be taken into consideration. But if I measure this room, this is 10. Is that 10 and a half feet? That's 9, 10, 10.25 feet by 12, 13, 14, 15 and a half. And I see that's not even quite a square foot. We're talking about that plus or minus 5% a lot of times. With a lot of these, I'm going to just say that's 1 foot square there that we would need to kind of complete that. And then, let's see, this hallway is 5 feet. And I am going to include a little into the closet here because I would need flooring underneath the closet, and we can just work around a lot of these specific walls here. So we'll say 5 feet by 4 feet. And this is a nice example to get started because we can use the area addition and just kind of merge all of this as the living room and hallway if we wanted to say that. And if we need to do some basic calculations here, we can go 10.25 times 15.5. That's going to give us 158.875 feet square. 5 times 4 will give us 20 feet square. And then we have, I'm just going to estimate that as 1 square foot there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all these areas together. So we'll take that plus 20 plus 1, and that's going to give us 179.875. So we have these square footages, and one of the things I want to point out here is that we don't need carpet or anything underneath where the fireplace is. So I'm just going to look at this and just subtract this from whatever number we have. So we got 2 feet by, we'll say that's 6 feet. So 2 feet by 6 feet, and this will be 12 feet square. And so let's go on the back side. I got this filled in, and so this would be 179.875. We're going to subtract the 12 feet from the fireplace. Now the reason I'm doing this is that I don't need material there if I'm doing like carpet squares or something like that. So I'm just going to subtract that. I'm going to add the hallway and add that 1 square foot that is here. Okay, so I'm doing this calculation like I have this perfect material that is easily divisible and I'm putting it anywhere I want. Most of the time when you're doing this flooring type stuff, you would want to get about 10% more than what you needed if you were doing like a tile, and then if you were doing like carpet sheets, obviously, you know, there's some math and some consideration to take into place there. So what I'm going to use for a material here is I'm going to use carpet tiles just to kind of minimize the waste here. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to go to Menards and we're going to go find some carpet tiles that we like. So let's go shopping. And so just go to some flooring, go to carpet and carpet tiles. Just pick some basic carpet tiles. Let's go here. And we'll go with the Fosazite because it's the very first thing. And, ooh, doesn't that look nice? Plenty and Superior. And, okay, so there's 22.5 square feet per case. And if we move over here a little bit, we'll see how much it is per carton. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that there is it's $23.83 per carton, and there is 22.5 feet square per carton. So we just have a nice little ratio there. And so let's do a little math to add up the areas that we have present here. So we got 179.875. We'll subtract 12, add 20, and add that 1 weird square foot. This will give us an area of 188.875 feet square. And then just multiply it by the ratio that you need here. So 23.83 divided by 22.5. That's simple. And then you'll get the cost per square foot. And we'll find that this should only cost us about $200 once it's all said and done to install this flooring. Now, when you're doing this research, I do actually want to track this a little bit for you guys. So if you can just click on that, hit Control-C, and copy paste into like a Google Doc form, that would be great in terms of looking at that and keeping track of that. And so now that I have that, we are going to move on to some other examples here. And so we got the cost of that room. Let's look at the kitchen here. So I already got a couple partitions here and separating this out, and I found that the kitchen's 11.5 feet wide by 15.5 feet long. All right, and I'm just going by the interior measurement. So I am going to write that down here, 11.5 feet by 15.5 feet. And I am going to multiply that again, 11.5 times 15.5. And that's going to give me 178.25 feet squared. Now, with this, one of the things that I want you to be practicing a little bit is maximizing that use of the area addition postulate. So with a kitchen, one of the things that you would do is if you were installing flooring in a kitchen, you would not include material underneath where like the countertops are. Now you would under the stove and the fridge, but not underneath the countertop. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take that into consideration. 2 feet, cabinets are always 2 feet deep, so you just measure the lengthwise here. 2 feet times 2 feet, that's 4 feet square. 2 feet by 4 feet, that's 8 feet square. partition that a little bit. And that is 6 feet. So 2 feet by 6 feet is 12 feet square. And whatever that square footage calculation is that we had earlier, we can subtract that, these values from that. So 12 plus 8 is 20, plus 4 is 24. So one of the things that I want you to do is just write this down on your sheet. Write that total area and subtract the amount of counter space that's there that you don't need tile flooring for. And so in this case, you'll get, let's just subtract 24 from that, 154.25. 154.25 feet square. Now, in terms of the material, go back, do some shopping again. You can just click flooring and rugs. I don't want to do carpet in the kitchen, so let's do some laminate and oak. Beautiful. And they do have to do some different things here. Let's go with easy plank. Sounds good. And again, if they show it to you per carton, that's fine. It tells you the square footage right there. So if we go with some medium oak flooring, and we want to use this, you know, we'll go with some laminate. And this stuff is $14.46 per carton, and you can divide it by the 23.91 feet square. So again, we'll just go the 154.25, multiply that by the cost per carton, and then divide that by the square footage per carton. And what you'll see is that this is some pretty cheap stuff. $93.29 in terms of that kitchen dining area. Okay, hopefully relatively straightforward. You know, there's a little bit of work there, but I'm trying to just get you guys prepared for the level of calculation that I want you guys to do for BPP 12, which is coming right up here. That's gonna be your design a home plan, where you're taking all these facets into consideration and trying to determine the amount of material that you need for all these different aspects. With this assignment, I want you to pick 2 different materials, so make sure to save those URL links again. You know, just click that, hit Control-C, and paste it, Control-V into a Google Doc and submit. Or you could take screenshots of this as well. Just take a screenshot, include the screenshot. That would work as well. And so I want you to pick at least 2 materials. Don't do like, oh, we're going to acid treat the concrete slab. No, pick some flooring. Part of this is I want you to see some of the costs associated with building a house. So let's look at the bathroom now. Bathroom's the next complex thing. So the bathroom is 5 feet by 7.5. And you might be like, oh, is it that simple? Well, it's almost that simple. So we'll go 5 times 7.5. That's 37.5. But I will say that there are areas, again, where we don't need flooring in a bathroom. We don't need it under the sink, and you definitely don't need it under the tub. So don't spend the money and waste it. Right? So tubs are generally about 2.5 feet wide, and that is the case there. I'm not sure if you can see that. 1, 2, and then 1/2. Okay, so 2.5 times, well, the bathroom is 5 feet long, so 5, and that will equal 12.5 feet square. This is 2 feet deep, just like a countertop. It is 3 feet wide, so this is 6 feet square. So 12.5 plus 6, that's 18.5 square feet. So we'll subtract 18.5 feet square from that foot square. It's going to give us 19 feet square. And let's go with snapstone. So this is what I used in my kitchen. And so again, just showing you some different examples of tile here and flooring. So again, let's go run through carpet tiles. Let's see, flooring and rugs. If I go to flooring, tile and stone, that's why I'm not seeing it. So if you want tile and stone, oh, and there's some snap stone. Ooh, and it's on sale. Oh, this is the exact same stuff I put in my kitchen, and they are getting rid of it. So, this is some decent stuff. It's really nice because it's got the interlocking stuff and it makes all your grout lines perfect and all that, but it's not a bad price. That's 5 square feet per package because it comes with the underlayment and everything, so that's nice. And we'll go, and that's $17.07 per carton, and there's 5 feet square per carton. So again, we'll go 19 times 17.07, and then we'll divide that by 5 feet square, and that'll only be $64.87 for that tile. Now keep in mind, you probably have to buy the entire tile for most of these circumstances, and you would want to overestimate by 10%. So that isn't the exact price. We're assuming perfect divisibility here of the material, which isn't entirely realistic. So if this is something you're planning on doing for a living, you will have generic rules that you're going to follow in terms of how much access you're going to have. Because the truth of the matter is you don't want to get into a job, mix up all your glue or all that type of stuff, and then, run out of tiles. Like, that just creates a whole bunch of extra time that you don't have and money that you will lose. All right. And so some things to keep in mind there. Bedroom 1 and bedroom 2. So let's go and put this guy back out. And so we're going to go. And actually, these bedrooms, I checked, they are exactly the same on both sides. So we got 9.5 feet wide by 11.5 feet. They're both the same. And 9.5 by 11.5. And one of the things I want to point out here is I do want carpet in the closet, and I don't need to worry about subtracting here. I'm actually going to use like a whole roll of carpet here, because then if that's the case, carpet's actually pretty easy to install in a relative sense, if you can keep it all in one piece. What I find really hard about installing carpets is the gluing and stuff that's involved. And so for bedroom 1 and bedroom 2, these rooms are really nice because I can just do that for both. I'm not going to worry about those little walls. And so if I do those calculations, this will be really nice. So 9.5 times 11.5, 109.25. Nothing to subtract, nothing to move around. It's really just going to be the kitchens and the bathrooms that you have to do some of this other fun stuff for. And let's go with some normal carpet here. So we'll go back home. Let's go carpet. Actually, if we go like with a plush carpet, this actually is probably a bit easier to work with because you can go and you can see it priced per square foot here. So it's $1.77 per square foot after rebate, which I mean you have to take into consideration. So we'll go with plush carpet. Again, don't forget to copy these URL links. Hit Control-C, hit Control-V into a doc. Make sure to include that. And I'll just point out as well while I'm talking about this is that this is a 15-point assignment. There's a lot of different things I'm keeping track here. So, and just so you're aware as you're going through. And this stuff's nice because this is $1.77 per square foot. Remember, 2 material minimum. And so we'll do the same for both of these here. 109.25 times 1.77. 193.37. 193.37. And now the only other thing I have to calculate is I actually included the hallway with the living area, but then they didn't have anything for the entryway. So I just crossed this out and I wrote entryway here. And so we're going to do that space right there, super duper quick. And that is 9 feet to a T by 5, 6, 7.5 feet. So 9 by 7.5. All right, so now when you're looking at this again and you're determining some of these, you don't need to include the space that's underneath the walls. You're not putting flooring there and those type of things. With the entryway, again, there's nothing really special going on there. It's a nice square space. So this is 67.5 feet square. Let's go with the laminate there. And then with that, we'll use this value that we had earlier, 14.46 per carton, divided by the 23.91 feet square. So take that number, multiply it by 14.46, because this number's in the numerator, divide by 23.91, which is the denominator, and we will need $40.82 to go for the flooring there. Now everyone's worksheet should be a little bit different here in terms of this, but all we need to do now is just summate everything here. So 204, 93.29 plus 64.87, 87 plus 193.37, and since that's the same as the one previous, we'll just go times 2, and then we'll add the $40.82. This is so nice just using a TI-30. Just see everything. And so the cost of all the flooring for this project should be $785.76. And this would conclude your project. So just to know, like, some of the basic stuff that you are doing here, in terms of grade and how you will be evaluated for cabin 2, is the area calculations and those type of things. That is going to be 5 points of the 15 that you are evaluated upon. Your research for the materials and determining cost per square foot will be will also be a 5-point portion of this given project, and then the other 5 points will be attributing your total cost of your flooring and the individual cost for each of those materials, again keeping in mind that 2 material minimum. So what you'll do, again, you'll grab cabin 2 and you'll go through the exact same process I just went here to go and calculate some of that. So with that said, I hope that this video gave you a little bit of knowledge of calculating square footage and again applying that area addition postulate to find some of these more unique spaces. And with that said, let's do some math.